Hello, welcome to week one. It is week one. So let's look at the outcomes we're going to look at this week, the ones that are bold here. Some of them might not be super obvious, but hopefully you figure out why. So express an appreciation of the ways current and historic theater practitioners have used text and performance as a personal and social means of expression and activism. That obviously we're going to cover more in the history week, but I pointed out here because we're going to learn how to analyze a text, a script, a play. And so that's an important part of knowing how people have done this. Analyze the theatrical experience from a personal, social, and artistic perspective using vocabulary specific to the dramatic arts. So we're going to be learning new vocabulary that we are going to be able to use when we do the rest of the stuff. And creating solutions for existing problems facing contemporary theater practitioners. Might not seem like we're really going to look at that, but you're going to learn about how plays work and a little bit about what makes theater theater. So that will apply to that one, and that one will definitely be part of your final projects. So here's week one. If yours looks different, that's probably right, but that's okay. First thing you need to do is complete this survey. It is a Google form. It is completely anonymous, so I want you to be completely honest. So fill that out. It's 5 questions. Not only do I want you to be honest, I want you to put down the answers that come immediately to your head. Do not labor over this. We're going to do one at the end, and we'll compare the two. So we're going to figure out what the heck theater is. We are going to figure out what a play is, and we're going to read a play. So as with every week, I'll sort of walk you through it this week since it's the first one. You go into a book, you move me, and there are chapters in that book, so you just click on each one, click on this, click on this, click on this, and whatever you need to do is here. So first of all, let's look at this really interesting document. It is... What's going on? It is taking a long time to open, but so it's a little bit on what makes theater awesome. It was written by this guy, Howard Schulwitz, back in 2011. He was the artistic director of the Woolly Mammoth Theater Company in DC. They're a really important theater company that do a lot of new work. So why is theater so awesome? You're going to read this whole thing for your multiple choice test, but I just want to highlight a few things here. It doesn't hurt anybody. It's a very sophisticated form of expressing basic human needs, and the desire to mime, it's a mimetic art, goes way back in our history. It brings people together. It is a, what does this say? A model for public discourse at the heart of democratic life. I won't expand upon that one, but I'm sure it's awesome. It contributes to education and literacy. It is an industry that contributes to our economy in very, very important ways, and I'll talk about that more in a second. Finally, for me, the biggest bang for the buck here is it creates a whole lot of empathy. You learn how to understand what's going on with other people by watching their lives unfold on stage. So I think that's part of what makes theater really awesome. So going back to the economic gains. So why study the arts? They're not that important. When the government gives out grants to businesses to make sure they can stay afloat so our economy stays afloat, they never give it to the arts. I don't know why they don't. The arts, now this is all arts, museums, visual arts, performing arts, music, dance, everything, contributes more than $760 billion to the economy. That is more than tourism combined. That is more than most industries do. So the arts are extremely important. Now that's all the arts. What about theater alone? Theater alone contributes about $1.9 billion to economies, to the economy of the U.S. And I'm going to be a good boy. This one came from the Denver Post, and that first one came from the National Endowment for the Arts, if you can see that. Yeah, the National Endowment for the Arts, from their website. So, reliable information, important information, lets us know that what we are studying is really important. Now, one little maybe I want to call it a pet peeve, because it kind of is, but it's really not, because it's really very important. Who writes plays? Playwrights write plays. How do you spell playwright? So here's from Grammarist.com. Oops, don't want to do that. Grammarist.com. They say a person who writes plays is spelled with a W-R-I-G-H-T, not W-R-I-T-E. Although the act of writing a play is spelled W-R-I-T-E. Now, why is it called that? Because playwrights make things. They don't write things. Now, yes, you write, you use language, blah, blah, blah. But when we think about writing a play, we think more about constructing a play. Kind of like this example here. A shipwright is someone who makes ships, and that's W-R-I-G-H-T. A playwright is someone who makes plays. If you know what wrought iron is, like a wrought iron hand railing, or like wrought iron art or what have you, someone who works with iron is an ironwright. That's where we get wrought, which is the past tense of write with a W-R-I. So please spell it correctly. The first thing you've learned in this course is how to spell the whoever it is that makes plays. So, and how do you spell a theater? How do you spell what we're doing? Some people consider this quite a controversy. It's really no big thing. Theater is spelled depending on, number one, if you want to spell theater T-H-E-A-T-E-R, go for it. Generally, most people who practice the theater arts think of the two different spellings, R-E versus E-R, which I put up here, which now I've moved. R-E versus E-R. The art is R-E. So if you're a theater artist, the concept of the theater, as an art form is generally spelled R-E, and a location is generally spelled E-R. The theater in which you perform theater would be spelled with an E-R. So generally the art form is called R-E. But quite honestly, and the awesome guy who does the theater lectures talks about this really quickly, he actually uses E-R. Sometimes it's a German versus French thing, but it's really no big deal. But if you really want to look smart, spell the art of theater with an R-E and spell the buildings E-R, and anything that has to do with a movie is E-R. So you're going to take the survey, you're going to click in here, what is theater? I'm jumping around here. A couple lectures to, so you're going to read that document I just pulled up, and there's a lecture that I make introducing you to what theater is, and then you're going to read chapter 1 from the textbook. And then you're going to go to the second book, and there's a couple lectures there that talk about script analysis, what makes a play. 2 different lectures. You click on that one, and then you come over here, and then you click on this one, the second one, and come over here, and then you click on that. Trifles is a play that you probably have read in another class, maybe. A lot of people come to this class having read it. Click here. It'll open the play. Here is a video of a not real good production of Trifles. You'll see it's definitely amateurs doing it, but what the heck, they're doing it. They're saying the words. You can hear the different characters' voices, so feel free to watch that when you are reading it. You're not required to. There are no questions on the test about the video. And then there are questions about a video that I made that I prefer you to listen to after you read Trifles, doing some script analysis on it. Now, this next chapter, Los Vendidos, I could have just put, and probably I should have put all this information in the What is a Play, because it's basically the same thing I did with Trifles. It's just another folder. There's a little video. Now, this one, the video I made that I want you to watch beforehand. There's the play, a copy of the play. Here is a video of it. This video is a little bit, tiny bit different. They rewrote it a little bit when they made the video, or either they rewrote it a little bit when they went to publish it in this version that you have. That's fine. Either one is fine. Feel free to follow along and see how it's different. And here's a little bit of history. It's a website that takes you to El Teatro Campesino's website, and tells you a little about the history of this theater company that created that play. Everything is required if, unless I specifically say it's not, just like I said, watching that Trifles video is not, but that's really doesn't make any difference because it's the same thing you would have read. And then you will do your pop quiz, and there's a blog. So in whatever order you want. So get all this stuff in by the end of the first week. Things are always due on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. only because there's really no way to put in midnight as a time that things are due. So to be just between me, you, and the hole in the wall, I usually do give people a little extra time during the first week because sometimes people add late, and sometimes it's hard just to get all your stuff together for the first week of classes. So aim to keep your weeks tidy. Get everything done by Sunday so you can move on and not stress out about it. But if you need some extra time this week, I will consider that. But I do like to be strict in the following weeks just because it makes it expected of you, and I find that people rise to their expectations. So that's this week. It should be a fun week. As always, let me know if you have any questions. Bye.